Titles, go. Kevin.
Winona in Lacona.
On the Tic Tacs.
Smoke your balls.
Rage quit.
So anyway,
Chasing Nirvana.
2 units.
Right wing Spidey.
that's why you can't see my hands.
The Grandpa Saga.
Challenge accepted.
Party Crasher.
All right, let's do this.
Warning. What you are about to hear contains explicit language, adult themes, and potentially disturbing content. The views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and do not reflect the opinions of anyone else, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. This podcast is intended for an immature audience and should not be listened to by anyone, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. You know, fuck it. You've been warned.
Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Geek Pod. I'm your host, Paul.
I'm Hugh.
Orbs.
I'm Kev.
Guys, what's got you geeked?
Well, I posted about this on Facebook, and I know at least several of you may have seen this, but my wonderful wife, Damara Allen, is one of the Pitch Wars 2021 winners. Now, it's called Pitch Wars. It's also called Pit Mad. Let me explain to you what it is, because I've had to dip my toe in this weird book writing world where lots of rules don't make sense. Basically, the idea is there's several of these throughout the year, but this is the biggest every year. And what they do is people take their novels and they pitch like they just put the idea out there, maybe a page or two and like a synopsis. What will happen is there are mentors, people who have been published or are work in the industry or whatever. They have professional credentials within the book publishing industry, and they have a set number of mentors. And what they do is they submit for their categories, like, you know, middle grade, young adult, regular adult, I don't know. And they have a certain number of mentors, and those mentors will look at the submissions. They will reach out to people whose submissions they like and ask for fulls, which is their full manuscript. And then after a 6 weeks process, they announce who they pick. And what happens is they basically pair the mentee, which is my wife, with a mentor who is the professional. In her case, it's a team, so it's 2 of them. And over the next 3 months, they are going to help her polish her book, get it up to everything, to get it so that it's ready to be sold. At the end of this, they have an agent showcase where they're going to help her with her whatever pitch package they put together. They put them all out, and then agents from book companies peruse these things. And I mean, they know, I mean, it's an official thing, you know, the agents look forward to the showcase every year because that's where they get their books they're going to publish for the next year. There is I think it's like 70% of people who win Pitch Wars and get into this program are agented within 6 months, which means They have an agent that's now actively trying to sell their book. So this is huge news for us. And I mean, I'm super excited. It's not the book I thought would be the one that got her on the map. It's not Core the Brave. It's a completely different thing she slapped together in like a month and a half. It just came into her head and she just started writing. I mean, but yeah, she's intensely working now. She got what's called an edit list, and she's having to go through, and they're having her rearrange things and move stuff around. But they loved what they saw. They chose her out of thousands of, well, I mean, I want to say thousands, but not everybody submitted to middle grade, you know? Right. So, and so it's there, she probably, you know, beat out maybe hundreds of people. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is she got it. That's awesome. That's huge. That's a huge step. She can actually put that on her writing resume going forward, even if this doesn't help out. It's kind of like winning an award or something. So we're really excited about this. And I'm got my fingers crossed. I mean, she's written 4 books in the past year and a half.
That's awesome.
Getting better each time.
I have a question.
What's that?
So, okay, so she had a vision. She wrote a book. and now they're telling her to make changes. What is
Yeah.
how does she feel about that? Like, what does she think about that when someone else tells her to rearrange her vision?
It's interesting because we had a talk about that tonight because she goes through this stuff with me, in pretty great detail. And she said, you know what? I had a thought that these people are professionals. They know what they're doing. I should just shut up and do what they're saying. Because one example, okay? This new book, it's called The Bone Man. Oh, and before I forget, when they picked her, the mentors sent her an email at midnight that night, and they even mocked up a cover for her book, which was awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah. So one good example, there's a point in her book where there is a perspective shift, okay, from one character to another. It makes sense. I think it's kind of vital to the story. It has to happen. Their concern is that it might be confusing to an agent who's breezing through this really quickly. They're not sitting down. They're just looking to see, hey, do I want to represent this person? They're not picking it apart. They want her to remove that and find a different way to disseminate that information. I'm on the fence. Well, I'm not on the fence about that. I don't think that works, but they are the professionals. And once she gets an agent, that doesn't mean that she can't go to the agent and say, okay, here's a revision of this where I did this, and it's possible it could go back in. But the goal here is to get it marketed and get her as a writer sold.
Right.
And then once they've taken you on, you can have conversations about, okay, well, here's what I'd really like to do with this book. But yeah, it is a little weird. It's jarring in some places for her, but she basically took the 4 pages of notes they gave her. She wrote questions and notes on them. They had a Zoom call last night. She went over each one of those points. And there are things where, hey, I did this for this reason. And they're like, okay, that makes sense. Or, okay, that makes sense. But here's another way to look at it, which is going to work better for you when it comes time for the agent to read it. Does that sufficiently answer the question, Kevin?
It does. And I totally get wanting to take their word for it. But it just makes me wonder, as the artist, as the visionary, how do you feel when someone else and you totally made me understand exactly what the thought process is.
I think in the book publishing world, you kind of have to put ego on the back burner for a bit, until you get your foot in the door and you've sold some books.
Yeah,
there's just really no way about it. You have to. It's kind of like a fashion show or a beauty pageant, maybe those girls aren't really that shallow, but they got to look good in an evening dress to win. And then once they're Miss America, they can talk about the complicated shit that really matters to them.
No, I get it. The artist just has to, be happy with the fact that somebody, at least likes their vision, at least likes their idea, enough to support it. So that is wicked cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And once she's agented, that means that person doesn't make any money unless they sell her book, or get her a book deal. So,
right.
Fingers crossed. I'm wicked geeked about this.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
I need to stop talking.
As you should be. That's awesome. Congratulate her for us.
One step closer to me being able to quit my job and just be honest.
It's all about you.
The end game. You always got to go back to the end game.
Yeah, but it's funny because she's in middle grades. Okay, that's fertile ground for movie deals.
Yes.
That's where it all comes from. And that's the kind of shit she writes. So I'm just like, man, if you can get your foot in the door and if you have an idea that's good enough.
Next thing you know, he was living in Hollywood.
No.
Just hope they don't cast Alec Baldwin in your movie.
You know what?
Shit.
Here's the thing. If they do, they pay us. And then they do whatever they want with the story in the book, in the movie, and we don't fucking care. So cast Alec Baldwin and have him shoot the whole cast. We got paid.
Yeah, and you're not on set. So
yeah. Now, after our second or third book deal, then maybe she can get an executive producer credit and then have some say in it. But the first time around, you're pretty much like, yeah, I'll take whatever you're going to give me. Yep, sure. Go ahead. Rape my book, please.
Jason Mewes starring in The Bone Man. Yeah.
There you go. That would be a completely different book.
All right. Corbs, what's got you geeked, man?
For me, it is getting my car back.
Was it stolen again?
Not again.
No? Okay.
No, this is the first time it was stolen.
Just
No,
don't check
Car
my
was
driveway.
stolen?
No.
No, car was,
I hope he's
car was-
joking. Otherwise, I'd feel
Yeah.
like a real dick.
No, it wasn't stolen.
Are a real dick.
About 3 weeks ago, I had it in the shop the week before that. So it was in there about a month ago. I had it in the shop for inspection, tire rotation. I had a
Something with the hose too. With the
no,
coolant.
that was what happened after. So, but
Okay.
I had an inspection done before that. The inspection done, tire rotation. There was the airbag light was on, and
God,
then
do you have a Chrysler?
Dodge. Yeah, my uncle owns Fayetteville Dodge, so we get deals on cars. So that's why we stay there. And then there was another light on. It ended up, it was a brake light kept coming on. That's what it was. So we had a frozen caliper. Something in the seat was causing the airbag light to be on, and then obviously the tire rotation and the inspection and oil change and all that stuff. So I got it home, drove over to pick my sister up. She had taken her car to get an oil change. So I drove down to take her. And I was driving down. That's when the hose broke. The radiator hose broke. And I drove it in the parking lot. It died.
Mm-hmm.
So he replaced the hose and put radiator fluid in it. Drove it home and started to smell smoke in the car, but couldn't figure out where it was coming from. Thought it was just the radiator fluid burning off, the antifreeze burning off the engine. Never thought anything of it. So last Saturday, we had our day of service for work, and I drove it. I went into work because I thought everybody had to be at work. Come to find out, we didn't have to be at work at all. So I drove to work, and I'm the only fucking person there. Out of the entire group that was working on, I was the only one that was there. But so I drove home, and as I was getting off the highway, saw like what I thought was the exhaust from another car. I was like, okay. So when I got into my parking lot at the apartment, I saw smoke coming out of the hood of the car. So I'm like, yeah, this can't be good. So I popped the hood. Sure enough, behind the engine, it's smoking. I'm like, that's not good.
Pour some gasoline on it.
What's that?
Walk away.
Yeah, right.
Pour some gasoline on it.
Yep, just give it a good match. So I took it over to the guy that does my mechanic, does all the work on the car. He couldn't find anything on it, but he put it up on the lift yesterday afternoon and found out that there was a broken gasket in the engine and I was leaking oil.
Ugh.
And that's what the smell was. That was the smoke smell that I had gotten. So he replaced that. We got it back today, but we've had it in the shop now 3 times in 6 weeks. And of course, the car's paid for. So
Right. Yeah. Of course.
that's when everything
all this
starts
shit
to
happens. Yeah.
yeah, it's when everything starts to happen. So, but got it back tonight. So it's nice and it actually runs and it quit smoking. So
That's good because that's not a healthy habit.
I got the patch for it.
Slapping right on the back quarter panel.
Exactly. So that's it's just because I haven't been able to do anything. I haven't been able to go anywhere since Saturday. I couldn't drive it. I mean, I played golf on Sunday, which was a bit cold. We actually went to the golf course and there was a frost delay. So we couldn't go out for 45 minutes. We got there at 8:30 and didn't tee off till 9:15. So that was fun. So, but golf season's winding down for us. So.
Oh shit! I would hope so. We're gonna have snow in like next fucking 10 minutes. So
Right. So hopefully we get one more round in here. We usually try to play the day after Thanksgiving, but I'm not sure. There's a storm coming across the country right now. It'll be here probably tomorrow night, and Kev's happy. But yeah, so there should be some snow on the ground hopefully by the weekend. So
I gotta drive to Buffalo this weekend, man. I don't.
Why?
Kylie has her final, as far as I'm concerned, competition for the year. She says otherwise.
For this year.
Fine.
For 2021.
For the 21-22 season, because it goes through February.
Oh, okay.
But,
did she already have the one here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she did a couple weeks back, right? A few weeks back.
Probably.
I don't know. I made the conscious decision to not keep hammering everybody over the head with all of her warrior stuff.
So.
But
Fuck it, man. Live it up.
Seriously.
I feel like I am lately. I've already been there twice this week, and we still got to go back tomorrow.
What time are you gonna be there tomorrow?
Usually, it looks like, according to Facebook, I'm leaving about a half an hour before you guys roll in. So, if I remember correctly, the last time I texted you about it, you told me that when I was leaving, you were otherwise busy.
Occupied? I was
Yeah.
occupied.
Yeah. And not to mention, I was just at Buffalo Wild Wings last night. So,
So that's it for me. That's
Nice.
it. Just be able to actually drive and go places and get groceries.
freedom. Yeah.
Freedom.
So,
What about you, Kev? What's got you geeked out?
Oh, I don't know. Still, that winter's coming. Just makes me happier and happier.
speaking of winter, Kev, how much powder's got to be in the ground for you to take your snowmobile out? Does it have to be a lot of powder?
Yeah, I mean, the best thing is for the ground to be frozen and enough snow to be on the ground, so that you can kick the snow up into the sled to cool it off, to keep it cool.
Okay.
Obviously, the more snow, the better. But if you can get some cooling, you can do quite a bit. You know, the cooling is the big part of it. These liquid cooled sleds, they do not like being run very long without having snow up on the heat exchangers.
Okay.
Older sleds, you know, you can do all sorts of things. You run them all summer if you want to, you know. Yeah, no, you need quite a bit, and the biggest thing is having the ground froze, you know, and that doesn't really happen until late in the winter normally.
Right.
We get snow before the ground freezes, and then we end up with mud under the snow. Boy, that's a good time.
That's when I've always wondered. I got friends of mine that snowmobile and stuff like that, and so obviously you do it too. So I mean, I was always wondering. I was wondering that my ex actually used to ride snowmobiles and stuff like that. So I always wondered. Never really knew about it. I've never really ridden down the snowmobile. So
yeah, different people go out at different times. My sled is designed for, you know, going out and playing in the woods kind of thing. You know, deeper snow. Stuff that's untracked. Kathy's sled, my wife's sled, is a more of a groomed trail sled. So for her, the ideal conditions are, you know, we've had snow for a few weeks, ground's been cold, and they've had a chance to groom a few times. So now you've got that packed snow on the trail, plus maybe a little bit on top of that. So that's, you know, an ideal condition for a snowmobile.
okay.
You know, great snow for traction for the skis, because the skis have a carbide rudder basically underneath the ski. It's metal, it's hardened metal, so they can protect it from rocks and things like that. And then when you run across the pavement, but it also helps the ski turn. So you need, you know, relatively soft snow for that to work.
Okay.
It will turn on the ice somewhat, you know, depending on how new those carbides are. But yeah, those are ideal conditions.
Snowmobiles and ice scare me.
Yeah,
I'm
not a fan.
I mean, I kind of early on grew up on sleds because we had sleds up there in Williamstown. Me and my dad used to go out in the woods and get lost, and you know, great time. Until I had 2 accidents on a sled. One, I was going down a hill and it had frozen. It was glare ice. I don't even know how this happened because it should have been broken through the glare ice, but I went to turn, and I think what happened is the fucking ski got stuck up, went down under the ice. The entire sled flipped, and I hit a tree, and the sled hit me.
Oof.
And that was fun for my back. And then I didn't get on a sled for like years, and then I was just in the field next to our house, and I was just turning, and I turned it too sharp and flipped the sled again. That wasn't so bad because I got clear of it. The first time I couldn't get clear of anything, but
older sleds are easier to roll over too. Just, you know, the lack of suspension, the narrow front ends, they were just super easy to just roll them on the side.
Apparently.
Yeah, no, it's I wouldn't wish snowmobiling on my best friend because it's expensive, painful at times, and you don't really get an opportunity to go as often as you'd like. So it doesn't really work out. It's a lot like boating, only I think you know, you're you're neither happy or sad when you sell a snowmobile. You're just looking for the next one. Unlike with boating, you're pretty well happy every time you get rid of one. And it's sad when you buy one.
Because you're always putting money into them, right? Like there's no, that's still just what it is.
Snowmobiles are a money pit.
Mhm.
You know, they're designed to wear. You know, there's wear bars on the back for the track, you know, to slide on. They wear out. The skis, those carbides on the front, they wear out. It's a lot of hard impact on some stuff. There's some bushings and bearings you got to watch for. And the fact that the snowmobile, you know, it's a machine with moving parts, and it sits, you know, 9-10 months out of the year. That's not good for a machine. You know,
Right.
if it's going to sit that long, you've got to go through it and make sure things aren't froze up, you know, seized, and they're, you know, they're working properly. You've got to store them properly, and a lot of people don't do that. So you get out on the first ride with them, and they're on the side of the trail, and you know, that's the end of your day. They're addictive. It's ridiculously addictive. The day you go out, and here's the best way I can describe it. So a couple years ago, a friend of mine and I got a chance to go out after it had been snowing for a couple days. I mean, just snow, just constant snow. And they hadn't had a chance to groom yet. So nothing on Tug Hill was groomed, or nothing at all was groomed anywhere. So we get out of Mexico, we get up into Winona, up in Lacona, and we park, try to find a place to park in Winona Forest. No, nothing's open. Nothing's been plowed. Nothing's open. We park at this one guy's house, just lives near the forest. We both got long track sleds. We end up breaking trail all the way from there, all the way up to like north of Branningham. It was the most amazing day. We saw almost nobody out. Anybody we did see was stuck, and they couldn't figure out how to get through this stuff. And it was nirvana on a snowmobile. That was one day out of like 3 years. That's the day I live for.
You're just chasing that nirvana.
It was amazing. It was just you just go, and it was, you just let the sled just let it eat. Just hold the throttle, and your body weight is what turns the sled, and it's just the best feeling in the world. It's just
Shit, I should be able to make one turn really easy then.
Oh, it's just that's we don't ride like we used to. You know, years ago it was always, you know, get a fast sled that handled well and just run trails at 100 miles an hour all day long. And we don't ride like that anymore. We look for those days when we have the great snow and you know, the deep untracked stuff. And it's rare. It's very, very rare. Up in the Northeast, especially. But
I don't know if I should be smiling for you, or if I should feel sad. I feel like we should pipe in the sad Hulk music right there for that.
no, it's totally worth waiting for, you know, and it's something to do, you know.
They said that about sex too. It's bullshit. 3 seconds, you're done.
Yeah. Mhm. Some people do it better the right way. And some
Sounds like some of your
No.
parts are worn out.
Not all of us have got the freaking Magnum PI like shorty shorts, dude. All right.
I'm so glad I'm
I
not
think
wearing
what
those
Hughes just
anymore.
Well, I think if he was hitting that, you should get out and use your parts a little more.
I mean, he's probably not wrong, but
I think he uses them enough. He just wishes he could use them with somebody else.
There you go.
Well, that
Right.
got weird quick.
that doesn't take long. Yeah, that escalated quickly. So what's got me geeked? I don't know if you guys have noticed, but GeekPod's on the Tic Tacs.
On the Tic Tac.
I like Tic Tacs.
You mean TikTok?
Orange?
Yes.
Orange ones? Oh, Tic Tacs.
And the orange Tic Tacs are awesome.
They
had
are.
some green, I just had some green ones a little while ago.
Have you seen the cherry cola ones? Oh,
I
my
haven't
God.
had them.
They rock.
No,
Yeah,
I
those
want
are
that.
good too.
So are you getting these like branded somewhere in
The
boxes of Tic Tacs with the Geek Pod?
And
No,
when
the
do we
Tic
get
Tacs.
ours? I
I
want
want
some.
I want cherry cola.
He's talking about some TikTok bullshit.
Yeah, GeekPod's on TikTok.
Why?
That it became a thing because it's been suggested to me multiple times that that's where the marketing thing is right now. So I figured I would test out our marketing skills again, because it's worked so well for us in the last 7 years. And I threw some stuff up on there. I got our account going. We are, if you're on the TikToks and you're following along, you can find us at _GeekPod_network, because there's already a GeekPod on there. All of a sudden, I don't know. But we've got 3 TikToks videos. I isolated stuff from last episode. The first one I put up was our brand new trimmed down opening theme for the show. Brand new video. It's about 3/4 less than it was before. It's about
same music and everything.
Same music, same audio, just trimmed it all down where the audio actually leads in underneath your voice this time. You'll be happy to know, Hugh, since yours is the voice on there, we've had 507 views of that.
Wow.
Yes. We have a respectable little 14 followers already. 508. Kevin's watching it right now. Then I put up my WTF file from last week. We've gotten 155 views on that. And then just put up not long ago, Hugh, I trimmed up your news segment and put that up. I had to trim down. All of a sudden, a ghost cat just appeared on top of your head. Put up the news segment, and we've already gotten 25 views on that. So we're doing pretty good. I mean, we're beating out, Kylie. She's not nearly getting enough.
I thought TikTok videos could only be like 15 seconds long.
No, TikToks can be up to 3 minutes. And so we've got to figure out how to keep funny shit under a 3-minute thing so we can throw it up there. But yeah, it's just, I thought it was cool. I mean,
I feel left out. They're both looking at TikTok right now.
I'm not looking at TikTok.
I know, but
I'm downloading it. I don't have it, so.
I don't care to have it.
Right. This isn't gonna spur you on to do this.
No, I haven't watched an episode of this podcast in 7 years.
Oh, I had to go before the show. I had to go and watch last week's just for the news segment because I wanted to see Paul lose his shit.
Was it worth it?
It was totally worth it.
Paul loses his shit every week.
Not like that. And I got to rewatch it a few times because that's what I edited it down for. The video on there cuts off with me losing my shit. That's how we do it. And I don't know why the first one got so many hits. I don't know if it was the hashtags I went on with it or what, but we've gotten some views. I'm enjoying it. And it's not updating to see that all this stuff is coming up. But
I was just going to say, I have one other thing to share.
Please share.
Okay. Just out of the blue here, I just wanted to recommend. I did something last Sunday that I haven't done before. Used my pellet smoker, and Kevin, you'll be happy to know I bought one of those smoking tubes, like you suggested. Fucking awesome! Except when you're done cooking and you've moved your pellet grill to the front porch, and you realize that you have a half-filled thing full of flaming pellets, you have to find a way to get rid of. So there's now I had to put the fire out on my front lawn. That's a whole other story. But what I did, I got this idea. I smoked meatballs and then put them in the sauce for spaghetti and meatballs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Is this a game changer?
Yep.
Whew.
That freaking tube is amazing. I just
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
So smoke your balls, guys.
Smoke them if you got them, Paul.
I don't have a smoker.
You gonna smoke your own balls?
I'm not that flexible.
Which one of us is?
Few are.
So I was looking at my TikTok app that I just downloaded and I'm learning about. And Paul, I looked up GeekPod, and you know what? I saw that other GeekPod on there, the one that you said someone took it. You know what's funny about it? You know what the name underneath it is?
What?
P. Showins.
I didn't have one.
You clearly took your own GeekPod name We already own
I
that.
forgot
one.
about it, and I'll tell you a funny
Oh
story
my
off mic about
God.
why that's there. Now that you mentioned that, I completely forgot about that.
But I don't
It
think
was
we
funny.
can change
No.
it now. I mean,
No,
Oh,
and I
really?
probably don't even know how to get back into it.
Way to
That's
go.
hilarious.
So, yeah, there's no real great story for on the mics, but I can tell you about it when we're off the mics. That's funny. So, okay, let's jump into it, guys. What are you playing?
well, Paul, why don't you throw that picture up on the screen for me?
Let me do that and see if it actually works this time, because I had so much fun with it the last time.
And there we go. Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
Now, I'm
Wow.
assuming this plays off of what we were discussing last week.
Yes. So I got my arcade stick. I'm running into a lot of issues. I'm not going to get into it in detail, but I am working. I'm trying to get the right RetroPie or a Batichera or whatever image I want. Basically, what I'm finding is that the images I want, none of them actually do everything I want them to. And since I have a Raspberry Pi 3B, everything's moved on to the 4, so I'm having trouble finding stuff for the Pi 3B. But I'm working through it. Struggling with Linux because one of the programs I'm working with actually takes your SD card and partitions it into two batches. One can be read by Windows, and that's just where the boot stuff is. And then all of the data, which I need to access, is on a partition drive in Linux. So as you computer people know, accessing that and doing stuff to it from my Windows computer is not fun. And even though I have some Linux readers now, I'm not able to find what I'm looking for. So I don't know, but it's a work in progress. I have all of the moving parts now. The next step, once I figure this out, will be deciding how I'm going to incorporate this into a cabinet, which is going to be challenging because my arcade stick is wider than even your extra wide cabinets. It's 31 inches. So I can't use anything pre-built without modifying it. So I honestly don't know what I'm going to do there. Anybody has ideas at any point, feel free to throw them at me, but I'm pretty excited about this.
That's really cool. I noticed there's a whole lot of Street Fighter going on right there.
That's just in the arcade section, and yeah, they have like every version of Street Fighter. I wanted to I took this picture before the show because I wanted something to throw up there that people would recognize. So I grabbed Street Fighter, but yeah, it's fun. Also learned about something that might interest you guys. Something that's on a lot of these is something because these are all set up by system. So you can scroll through systems and the games for each system are there. There's something called Open Bore, BOR. That stands for Beats of Rage. And what it is a software that is based on the old Sega Genesis Streets of Rage fighting engine. And what it does is it's open source and allows people to create their own side-scrolling beat-em-up games.
Wow.
Nice.
And there are so many of these. I mean, I'm not even talking about making my own. There's so many of these that already exist. Like there's a He-Man one, which opens with the actual opening of the cartoon with the music and everything. And the graphics look just like the cartoon. It's
That's
amazing.
freaking awesome.
There's a G.I. Joe one I haven't checked out. People have made Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle sequels. There are some Mortal Kombat side scrollers that use the digitized graphics from the games and stuff. It's a really cool new world that I just stumbled on yesterday. And now I'm trying to find the right image that will run that effectively. So I got a lot of work to do here.
Yeah.
I think maybe I need a Pi 4, but I really don't feel like dropping $75 on one. So
I hear you. So I'm not actually playing anything. I've had no time with all the Ninja Warrioring and now Madison cheerleading. But a little bit of news. The much maligned Avengers game. It's got a new DLC coming at the end of the month, and that is Spider-Man with Great Power, and it is a PlayStation exclusive. So I'm actually looking forward to that. I mean, I've already invested in the game, so fire that up. Give me a third game to play with Spider-Man now. So it looks like Square Enix and the crew, they're trying to recapture the audience, but I think it might be too little too late.
Well, I mean, we're like a year into this now, aren't we?
More than that. It's got to be.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they originally, the Spider-Man DLC was to drop December of last year.
Yeah, and then they scrambled to, try and fix the game and stop the bleeding. So, and what's funny is it's not a bad game. It's just, it gets repetitive and it didn't give the people what they want. Like they wanted more from it. They wanted more skins, more accurate skins, because they kind of just pasted over and called it a MCU costume. And
isn't that Square Enix's thing though? Repetition.
I mean, kind of. But I mean, most of them do it. But I am excited to see the Spider-Man one. The Black Panther was well done. Kylie was excited for that one. She'll go nuts for Spider-Man. So, and you look at that, just in time to lead up to the new movie. Corbs, you playing anything other than golf?
Casino game on my phone.
Casino game. Okay. I was gonna say, were we supposed to be able to see what was on that screen? Or
wait, are you playing with real money?
No.
And then it disappears. The Geekpod Gold game looks
there
really
it is.
nice. There it is.
Actually, this game is called Rise of Valhalla.
Nice.
Brand new game. It just came out.
And it's a casino style.
Yeah, it's called the W Casino.
Okay.
I've been playing it. I've actually been playing it for a while.
Nice.
So, every day you get 80 free spins, 2 different games, 30 spins, 50 spins. So I'm up to like $500 million or something like that on it.
Okay, so when you cash that in,
I wish
you can like finish a golf course, right?
Right, transfer it over, finish that hole.
No, I fucking deleted that shit.
Oh, he did rage quit.
I did. I rage quit that big time. When I stopped actually making like the $1 billion or whatever I was making every 6 hours or so, and I was only making like a couple $1 million after they did the update to it. I was like, nope, fuck that. I'm out.
I want to rage quit because I don't make $6 billion an hour.
Yes.
Or $1 billion every 6 hours, whatever the fuck it was.
Seriously. When I'm going along and I got like 3 things to finish up on the course, and then you tell me I can't do it anymore, I'm out. So
yeah,
that's it. I played some Valhalla, a little bit of it, but like everybody's saying, there's just no time right now. So
I feel that. And Kev, according to the thing, you're not playing anything new. So it sounds to me like it's time for Kev's tabletop review.
All right. Well, this week we're going to do something a little bit different. I've done this before where I've taken a little bit of a break from game reviews and giving you a little bit of the behind the curtains kind of look at what we talk about or what we do with tabletop games. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the prizes that we provide. What I've done in the past is Kathy and I will be out at a game store or something, and I'll see something fun or neat, and I'll grab 1 or 2 things, and that'll be the prize for game night. So whoever wins the most, or wins that night, or wins that particular game, they get a prize. Some of the things we've given away in the past were a little toy train set that fit inside of a small tin, something a little bit larger than something like an Altoids box, maybe a little thicker, just a little bit larger. But the whole train, you could take out and you could actually roll around and connect all the pieces together, fit inside of that. That was a prize for Ticket to Ride. So whoever won that night got Ticket to Ride. Another thing I've done is I've gotten bags of multi-sided die. So I was at a game store, or I think I found them online. You could get 6 multi-sided die, 20s, 8s, 10s, and whatever 4s and whatever else was in there. I got a couple of those, and I gave those away for a game night one night. What we've been doing lately is for Ticket to Ride, whoever wins the previous game gets to wear the conductor's hat.
That's awesome.
The next game night. So I got a conductor's hat, and I forget where we got it, but it's the real deal.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Now it gets passed around. It's not you take this one home and there's another one kind of thing.
No, we keep it here so that
Nice.
the winner and the winners so far have really liked that. They've liked to be able to wear the hat for the next game. So they're the conductor, they're the previous winner, they're the person you have to beat. Kind of makes them a target, kind of makes them feel like they have something to live up to. My buddy Rob was hot and heavy after the conductor's hat for quite a while. He did get it, and I think he holds it right now, to be honest. I think the last time we played Ticket to Ride, I think he was high on that one.
Nice.
Did Kathy ever ask you to bring that in the bedroom?
So anyway, the next thing I have for you is the next prize we're going to give away at game night. And it kind of looks like a box of crayons. I don't know if you can see what that is.
Offensive crayons.
Red, white, and fuck you. Nice.
Offensive crayons. That's right. So I found these, and these are effing hilarious. There's something different written on every crayon. You can go on their website and you can find they've got different packs, and these are definitely not something you want to put in your kids.
Look it. You offended Hugh. He left.
Oh, yeah, I see that. You don't want to be putting these in your kids' book bags and having them take them to,
I'm totally going to do that now.
I was just going to say, is that a challenge?
I have to.
So I've had these for a little while, and they'll be the next prize. But it doesn't take anything that's very expensive, and it's a lot of fun to just have something on the table, or even just make it a surprise and say, for whoever wins game night tonight, you get to wear the hat or you get to take something home. It makes it a little bit more fun, and we've had a really, really, really good time with it. And it gives us an opportunity to have conversations with some of the folks in the game stores. The little toy train I found, it was that little game store in the mall. I can never remember the name of it.
Mind Game.
What is it?
Mind Game, the one that used to be like across from ThinkGeek.
Yep. Really bright inside. They did it. They seemed like they were doing a really good job of it. I don't know if they're still there or not.
They're still there. Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah.
That's good.
I figured what would attract you is they've got that giant wall of pops.
Well, that's how I walked in there the one day. Was I was looking at what they had, and nothing in there was anything I was looking for.
Nothing rare.
No, but they did have a nice selection of games. They had quite a few of the Ticket to Ride games, and a bunch of other games. They had Catan, obviously, and a bunch of other things. So I've also been looking at some of the things at Play the Game, and he doesn't really have toys. I mean, he's got like chops like that. He's got game specific things in there, so that's not necessarily a bad thing, but definitely something that I'd have to think about where that was concerned. But it doesn't really it doesn't have to be game related. I mean, these things, the little crayons I found them on their website. Absolutely hilarious. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Hilarious. I've got another pack of makes me think of it. I got another pack of, it's an expansion pack for the card game, Cards Against Humanity. You can buy different expansion packs for them, and I found this. It's only got a few cards in it, maybe 10 or 15 cards in it. So it's an expansion pack, and I'm going to give that away too. And I can't say what the expansion pack is, what it relates to, because it's one of those surprise ones. But it's a good one. It's a good
Very
one.
cool.
Yeah. So just one more little behind the scenes way that we, look behind the scenes at how we make game night a little bit more fun.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I think it's time to throw it to break, and then we'll come back and we'll take care of the news. Stick with us, guys. Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a key back issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore, located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking. Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics.
Now, before you rip a record-breaking long fart in front of the Duchess of Cornwall, here's the news. First up, the relief is tangible. CW's Supergirl is over. Finally fucking over. Thank Zod or whatever. The finale was sappy as expected, with everyone from previous seasons showing up, including Callista Flockhart, who presumably is not making enough money sleeping with Harrison Ford to keep avoiding anything resembling work in her chosen profession. The main story wrapped up in the first 10 minutes, and we were subjected to another 30 of showing all of the shallow characters being happy except for Supergirl, which is the whole premise of the show. A wedding, a reunion, a flying car, everyone crying with joy. Ask the closest 10-year-old to write the ending to a TV show, and you will have the script for this one. While the show started off strong, it delved headfirst into time travel and aliens and basically became CW-sanctioned fan fiction for most of its 6-year run. Having invested so much time, I had to finish it out, no matter how much it hurt. Next up, Helter, Skeletor, and other twisted fairy tales. Did you hear about the tragedy at Astroworld? About 8 people being killed during a crowd surge? Did you also hear that they were really 8 sacrifices Travis Scott made to Satan to open a portal to hell? Yes, your favorite uncle who drinks too much and can't be left alone with your little sister, QAnon, has another batshit crazy claim this week that metals from the COVID vaccine allow people to be controlled through sound waves. And music is sound, right? I mean, I can't be sure that Travis Scott counts as music, but they claim he controlled the crowd and caused their deaths as part of a ritual to Satan. This Satan guy, always wanting rituals to be done like he's an insecure schoolgirl in constant need of validation. And why would eating babies do anything for him? It would be like Paul hiring us all for the podcast, but only if we eat sushi once a week. Not with him, on our own, in the basement of a pizza parlor, for reasons. If this is the real Satan, then he is a huge letdown from the biblical characterization. He should be crushing concert goers beneath his cloven feet while eating babies from each hand. 10 feet tall and exorcism proof. This right-wing Satan is a cuck who likes to watch. And finally, 3 times a Spidey. More pictures have leaked from the production of Spider-Man No Way Home. They show all 3 previous Spider-Man as well as one intrepid lawyer from Hell's Kitchen. The leaks come from a reputable source, but we can't be sure until they are verified by Sony. I once saw a Photoshop of Donald Trump giving a blowjob to a well-endowed cartoon Andy Capp. Anything is possible. And at this point, I have to honestly say, if all the rumors aren't true, I'm not even sure I want to hear this movie. Now, hear me out. Given that we're at the crux of multiverses as part of a larger storyline, this is the only time this could realistically happen. If internet fanfic jerk-offs came up with a better script for the movie than Sony with mouse bucks in their back pocket, they don't deserve the avocado toast they eat their feelings on every morning. Try hiring writers that haven't sold their souls for all the cocaine and worn-out college-age hookers in Los Angeles. Not everyone needs to find their inspiration at the end of a taco and meth-fueled diaper play session. And that's the news, kids. Now I have to, and then I'm going to go and I'm cornbread, 6 chickens and a pair of high heels. Throw out the whole bed or burn it. Paul?
In other news, the tallest man ever recorded was Robert Wadlow, who stood 8 feet 11 inches tall. Back to you, Corbs.
How do you follow that?
You don't.
Would have been better if it worked the first time.
It's a hard way to follow it.
You don't want to walk behind it, that's for sure.
No. No, you get shit on. The
I
hard way.
call that bit Climate Summit.
All right.
Or because you climbed the summit.
No, Climate Summit.
All right. The movie I'm doing this week is called The Hard Way. It's a 1991 movie starring excuse me, Michael J. Fox.
I love him.
I was gonna say.
Everybody loves Michael J. Fox. How can you not love Alex P.
No, I mean I like.
That
Oh,
guy.
oh, you guys like him too? He's one of my favorite actors.
Yeah, I think he was best in.
Do that again.
I can't. I think it was Klingon.
All right. Easy, Kev. Easy, Kev. All right. So this is gone. All right. So the movie is called The Hard Way. Stars Michael J. Fox as Nick Lang. He's a famous, pampered Hollywood actor, well known for his action movies that are box office hits, but lack in artistic credibility. For his next movie, he needs the proper motivation and inspiration for his role as a gritty cop. Lang comes up with the idea to shadow New York policeman Lieutenant John Moss, played by James Woods, after he sees the detective on television. Now, the reluctant detective not only has to put up with Nick, who has no idea what it means to be a cop, but he also must catch the cold-blooded murderer, the party crasher, played by Stephen Lang, before he kills again. Like I said, it came out in 91, directed by John Badham. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
I know.
Bad hand.
Badham. Badham.
Adam.
Badham.
I've had bad ham.
So have I.
That might have caused your whole thing there, Hugh.
I think I've seen this movie.
I've definitely seen this movie. I remember seeing it in the theater.
I've seen it a bunch of times. I watched it the other day. Actually, I DVR'd it the other day too.
which explains why we're reviewing it today.
It's true. It's true.
So
And
Corpse.
actually, to be honest with you, there's some. You got LL Cool J's in it.
Yes.
Delroy Lindo is in it. He's the police. He's the police chief. So there's some pretty good actors in it. And the guy who directed it, I was looking at who he was. He's directed some pretty decent movies himself. Saturday Night Fever, Blue Thunder, War Games, American Flyers, Short Circuit.
Oh yeah, there you go.
You know, what else we got? Stakeout, Bird on a Wire, Point of No Return.
Jeez.
Yeah, Drop Zone. So I mean, he's directed some pretty decent movies too. So you may get a few of those here in the next few weeks.
Nice.
It's fun to see some of these actors because I know who they are by the movies they've been in, but I don't know their names. So I'm looking at the list. I mean, there's a list of actors in this movie. I mean, this is cool.
Yeah, it caught me by surprise when he said Stephen Lang was the killer in it.
Yeah, Party Crasher.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he looks like a killer.
He does.
he does. So I like the movie. I hadn't seen it in a while, and when I saw it on Stars, I caught it at one point, like right towards the middle of it, and I was like, "Well, got to watch the beginning of it because that's when Nick sees John on TV, and that's what motivates him to go to New York to tag along and whatnot." So it's pretty funny. There's some funny parts. It's got action, and it's pretty funny to see Alex P. Keaton
Right.
running around like that. So, but it's a good movie. I usually give it up. I give it 2.5 out of 5, maybe 3. So it's not a bad movie. It's not one of those movies that you sit down and watch from start to finish or whatever when it's on. So
I'm not gonna lie. This is a movie I haven't thought about since 1991.
yeah,
So
I used to. I mean, when it was when I worked at the video store, I'd rent it once in a while, stuff like that. got to find a movie to watch here or there or whatever. So it wasn't too bad.
So
They
you
made
said
you rent videos when you worked there?
No, I any
rent.
well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
quote unquote rent. But any older movie that wasn't a new release, you got for free.
nice.
So in the new releases, you got 5 free ones. You could get 5 new releases during the week. You couldn't rent new releases on the weekends, but you could get 5. You could get 5 new ones off the new release wall, which was the wall on the outside of the building, all the way on the outside. You could get any one of those for free. If you got 5 free ones every week. So and then and the other cool thing was when the new movies came in, like they came in the week before. You had to prep them, obviously, take them out of the box and all that stuff. Before they came out, you could rent the movies.
That's cool.
Like we could take them home and watch them. They actually encouraged us to do that. So when people came in,
that's cool.
you could give them your take on the movies and stuff like that. So
Nice.
yeah, and it was cool because I worked there and so did my brother. So if there was a big allotment of movies coming out or whatever, between the two of us, we could rent them all.
That's awesome.
Them.
Yeah.
So.
Did you have your own TV and VCR?
Yes.
Nice.
Yep, I had one we had one in the basement, and then there was one in. My brother stayed when he got home from college. He lived in the basement of our house, so he had his own like TV and PlayStation and stuff like that. We only had the one PlayStation, so if we had to play, we had to share it. But he had his own TV and VCR, and I had my own TV and VCR. So
The house I grew up in had one TV.
Yeah.
Well, until my brother went away to school, we had 2. We had one in the basement and one in the living room. And that was it. So if we wanted to watch TV, we had to agree on stuff. And you know as well as I do, 2 brothers together, they don't agree on much. There was a lot.
Skinamax, yeah.
Well, that too, but there was a lot of boxing matches for TV shows.
Oh yeah.
I didn't watch many TV shows. My older brother, obviously.
He won.
Yeah, well, he was an offensive lineman, so
Well, there you go.
he had a little bit of a
Size advantage. Yeah.
he had a little size advantage. So then I had to learn how to fight dirty. So
You're gonna fight to win.
That's right. You
at
don't
first,
fight fair.
at first, I was always the kid that was doing that, and then when you lose like 17 times in a row, you learn to when you go down, there's
Even
an
the
open
odds.
area
Yep.
that most people aren't protecting.
Right.
It was, at that point, it was hit and run and go find mom.
When I was younger, my uncle lived with us for a summer. He lived in our garage. My troubled uncle, who eventually went and killed himself. But during that summer, we bonded a lot. And he, I don't know if this is real fighting, but he said, listen, I'm going to teach you how to defend yourself. And basically, the first thing he said is when someone comes at you, grab their shoulders and kick their fucking knee all the way through. And I'm like, that probably would have gotten me in trouble in high school if I'd actually put that into practice.
Yeah. Because, I mean,
something Patrick Swayze would tell you.
Well, that and to pluck the throat out.
It's true.
So, but yeah, you do that to somebody, you're crippling them, probably for life. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Well,
ends
they
the
won't do it
fight
again.
quickly. Yeah, and the fight's over.
I won't do it again.
And nobody else will mess with you at that point.
Right.
A little late for that.
All right. So you said you gave it 3 stars?
Yeah, 3.
Well, our good friend Roger Ebert, he gave it 3.5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he has this to say. There is nothing very remarkable about The Hard Way, except for its comic energy. But the energy of this movie is everything, reminding me of the wisecracking, hard-boiled screwball comedies of the 40s, back when they assumed the audience knew how to listen fast. You have to listen really fast during this movie, but what you get is an earful of James Woods in full flower, and Michael J. Fox so hyper he ventilates. Woods plays the kind of role where, if they hadn't been able to hire him, they would have had to shut down the movie. Who else could play this rapid-fire, angry, violent, foul-mouthed, insecure, sneaky, and lying but lovable rascal? He's the toughest cop in New York, the kind who rams his police car into the back of a truck because he's late for a date. I have seen some James Woods movies I didn't enjoy, but it's hard to remember them. The names of few other actors give you.
What?
I don't know. I read it twice because it didn't make sense to me.
Just read it before you.
This time he plays John Moss, a homicide detective on the trail of the party crasher, played by Stephen Lang, a mass murderer who specializes in shooting his victims in the middle of discos, usually after inviting the police to attend. Moss almost catches the crasher as the movie opens. There's a typical Woods scene that has him hanging onto the door of a speeding truck while the crasher is at the wheel. But after he's nearly killed, his commander takes him off the case. What's his new assignment? A Hollywood action star named Nick Lang, played by Michael J. Fox, wants more authenticity in his performances. And when he sees a clip of Woods on the TV news, he knows this is his man. He wants to move into the life of the cop, to follow him everywhere, to study his methods and mannerisms, to live in his apartment, and see what makes him tick. He even gets to be friends with his girlfriend, played by Annabella Sciorra. Woods wants no part of this plan and informs his commander in blunt and colorful language. The commander tells him it's an order. So this is essentially just another version of the reliable old cop partner movie, in which the veteran is assigned to take a rookie under his wing. But the filmmakers crank up the energy until the movie takes on a life of its own. The director, John Badham, knows how to make genre pictures. His credits include Stakeout and War Games. The screenplay by Daniel Pine and Lem Dobbs is clever and funny and provides Woods with some genuinely funny vulgarities, which would probably be like nothing today. The stunts and action direction, the second unit work, and the special effects are all seamless and exciting, especially a climactic scene that manages to parody North by Northwest while substituting a billboard in Times Square for Mount Rushmore. Okay, how often do they reference the second unit in a review? I just got to give them that.
Who has a second unit? I only have one.
And the stunt people.
Stunt cock.
Out, you.
Stunt cock.
If anyone's seen Orgasmo, they get that joke. But mostly what we're talking about here is energy. There is a certain exhilarating, high-altitude buzz you get from actors who are working well at the limits of their ability, and I got it during The Hard Way. Sorry. Faced with a plot that was potentially predictable, Woods and Fox seems to agree to crank up the voltage, to take the chance of playing every scene flat out. They also take some chances with their images, or at least Fox does. Woods has always glorified his role as a manic killer rat from Speed City. The result is funny, fun, exciting, and when you look beneath the glossy surface, an example of professionals who know their crafts and enjoy doing them well.
Wow.
It seems like he was more impressed with the behind-the-scenes shit than the movie itself.
Does seem like that.
Yeah. Now, like I said, I haven't seen it since it was in theaters. I remember I enjoyed it as a kid. Probably not as much as I enjoyed the original Michael Keaton Batman, but
All right.
I was wondering how many shoulder shrugs we were going to get at once here.
I guess I'll die. Oh my God. I forgot to tell you guys. So at our work Halloween party, 2 of our people came dressed as memes.
Memes.
One girl, yes, memes. One girl had the burning background behind her. It was animated with the nose and the hat, the dog, and it said, "This is fine." But the other guy, he didn't do any sort of fancy backgrounds. What he had was a mask that was Kermit the Frog's head sideways, a wine glass on a stick, and a sign that said, what is it? But that's none of my business. It was so funny.
Since you brought it up, I saw your costumes for that. You and the wife.
Yes.
Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Isn't she a supervisor?
Yes.
Shouldn't she have been Batman then? Shouldn't you have been the sidekick?
She didn't want to put the stupid mask on.
I don't blame her. That did not look comfortable at
It
all.
was not comfortable. And you know what that was from, though? That was from the 30th anniversary edition of The Dark Knight Returns. I got it at Ollie's for $4.99.
I saw it. I almost picked it up. So might actually pick that up when I go back.
Actually, what we're thinking next year is we're looking for the sweater, the turtleneck sweater, and I'm going to get a Jason mask. And we're thinking about doing Jason and Mrs.
Jason and Freddie. Nice.
No, Jason and Mrs. Voorhees.
Oh, and my mother. Yes. Yeah. Very cool.
Wow.
I like it. All right. Well, if we don't have anything else, let's throw it back to break and let's wrap this thing up. I think we'll come back with a WTF file, guys. What do you think?
Sounds like a plan.
In the balls.
In the balls? What?
Yeah, kick yourself in the balls.
I'm still not that flexible.
Smoke them if you got them.
Does that count as 2 units?
Stick with us, guys. Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a keyback issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore. Located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking, Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics. Okay, so this week's WTF file. Not sure if you guys know, but the bus stop is at our driveway. It's just my girls.
I knew that.
Good.
I watch every day.
Perfect.
Wow.
It's just my girls and a little girl from the other end of the street. Typically, one of her folks walks her down and stays until the bus is left. I'm always out there with them every day. Well, this week, her grandpa started accompanying her. All started on Monday. See them come sauntering down. Grandpa striding bow-leggedly like an 87-year-old cowboy. They arrive. He greets me, asks me some general, polite questioning. I answer him back politely. He turns and looks at me with this look of disdain on his face and informs me that he is, in fact, deaf. Has hearing aids, but they're getting fixed at the VA, so I have to shout at him. Spend the next 10 minutes either nodding or screaming at this old fucker. Finally, bus pulls up. Kids load on. Door closes. Grandpa turns to me and says, "So long," with his little wave and takes off into the road in front of the fucking bus. The bus screeches to a stop since, it started to fucking pull away. He looks up at the bus, giggles, and pantomimes like she hit him. Then he just continues up the road like nothing fucking happened. What the fuck? I can't make this stuff up, guys.
Those people up the road, are they the people that I know? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, then that old man that you're talking about, I know very well.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
I don't. Are we not saying anything? We're not naming names.
Out of politeness, I thought, we probably shouldn't. I have one more update on him though. Yesterday, Grandpa starts down with the kid. Gets about a third of the way to my house and just spins on his heels and takes back off. Wanders away. So, and today, doesn't show up at all. Kid just wanders down by herself. It was great. It's just,
aren't you the babysitter?
I mean, I guess we are now. And you know what? I mean, after they get to be a certain age, you don't have to accompany them. But with Madison and all her stuff, I'm still out there anyway. But it's just, I'm used to, the folks being down there, one or the other. And then all of a sudden, it was it almost every day it's become like to the point where it's like the scene in Mallrats. That kid is back on the escalator again.
All right, you know, I'm not going to name any names, but anybody watching this who knows them knows exactly who you're talking about.
Perfect.
There's no question about that. So just so these guys can know, we can get their reactions. That grandpa is my uncle.
I don't think so.
Oh wait, we're not talking about him?
Not as I understand it.
It's better if it's Hugh's uncle.
Okay, you said that it's the other person's father. Ah, my bad. Okay, I thought it was the husband's father. All right.
No, not as I understand it. Not as it was explained to me. But I mean, it's
Maybe
harmless.
they're the same guy.
Still, I mean, the fact that my cousin lives down the street from you is bizarre to begin with.
Well, yes, very bizarre. So, yeah, that's my WTF file. It's just the moment he stepped in front of the boss, like I wasn't like, oh, look out. I was like, I've got my WTF this week. So
Nice.
You didn't scream at him?
I'm not going to scream at anybody except
You
the
didn't
microphone,
yell at him
apparently.
because he's deaf. You got to yell at him.
Well, I did. I mean, it's hard to answer otherwise. I tried to find any possible way to just go. Or so moving on from that, the Halloween costume contest, guys.
Oh,
That wrapped up today. As I understand it, even though it was supposed to wrap up last Sunday, but I give it a few more days, and there were some last minute votes come in. We had a total of what I'm counting, 12 votes, which for us that's huge. For us, it's normally like 2 of anything we get.
wow.
So we do have our contest results. Do you want to? I'm gonna throw it to the screen here to go over that, if you guys don't mind.
Nope.
All right. I'm just setting up the screen.
All right. We need some setting up the screen music.
Right. All right. So our contest results. Okay. First up, I want to finally show off the prizes, the illustrious prizes for the winner. I did put some time and effort into this. I was really, really hoping that you guys would be impressed with the prizes. So I took a picture or two, and here they are. We had a nice prize pack. We have a copy of Stephen King's The Stand from the 90s. This really cool little jack-o'-lantern brainy drink cup and a pack of candy corn. And then I did have a trophy made.
Wow.
And hopefully you guys can see it. It says Halloween Spooktacular Champion 2021.
Nice.
And Kevin has seen it in person because it was at work. So without further ado,
The trophy is a peen.
I mean, it kind of looks like a peen. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, it was one day.
Yes, it was. Thanks to you.
We don't need to know how you use the trophy. Wait, maybe we do need to know how you use
No.
the trophy.
Whoa.
So we can clean it properly.
I have pictures.
Whoa, that's a different podcast.
No, it's not.
No, it's
Say,
not.
actually, I take that back. That's an OnlyFans account.
Oh yeah, we could do OnlyFans next.
You have
Yeah,
to
right.
figure out Twitch
Well,
first.
It's the
Yeah.
progression after the TikTok is ticky tags.
Ticky tacks.
All right, Kevin, you go first.
All right. So, and the winner was with 6 eligible votes.
Of course.
Yeah,
Um,
my original costume choice.
it was. He was the first one to mention it. I stole it and then ran with it. So I had 6 votes. I'm going to stop sharing now because we don't need to keep staring at that. We've all seen it. Kevin was second up with 4 votes. And then both of you guys each had 1 vote, and the grid had a whopping nothing. So sad for him, but
I should have voted for Grid.
you should have, just so you didn't feel so lonely out
Maybe
there.
then my vote would have counted.
Yeah, at the last minute, Kevin tried to vote for me, and I'm like, no, we're not doing that. But I thought that was a great time. I thought that was really cool. But herein lies the problem. Well, yes, I won, and I didn't want to win. I mean, I kind of felt like, other than dyeing my beard, I kind of mailed in the fucking contest.
Our viewers can't be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, and I'm really, really glad that they actually came out and voted for once. I mean, we make a lot of jokes about having 2 people in our audience, which is not true, because I mean, I see the numbers we have. It's not far off from the truth.
Well, it can't be wrong. They have spoken.
And it was legitimate. And I know I play off with ego and this shit all the time, but I didn't want to be the guy. Like, I don't want to. I wanted somebody else to get it so they could get this cool prize pack. Like I said, it's not a surprise to me. And here's the thing. I own a copy of Stephen King's The Stand already.
But Paul, nobody wants candy corn. You're fine.
The Grid wants it.
Well, I know nobody wants the candy corn. That's probably just gonna throw in the trash.
Send the candy corn to Grid and put the trophy on the shelf.
Grid 1 gets the candy corn. But hey, does anybody want that copy of The Stand? It is on DVD, because that's all you can find the 90s miniseries on.
It'll be a prize for the next round. Whatever the next thing is.
All right. Well, it's out there if somebody wants it. I'll leave it at Stewart's. So just stop at any of the Stewart's and pick it up.
Perfect.
There you go.
So that was fun. I appreciate everybody playing along. That was great. So I'd like to make that a yearly tradition, guys. That was a lot of fun.
If I had my hat,
you would have totally won it if you had your hat.
I'm honestly surprised you didn't, Kevin.
It was the hat. I didn't have the hat.
I expected Kevin to win that one. That should have been hands down. I don't know if the background helped me or what, but
because all of our viewers love Kevin Smith just as much as you do.
Snoogans.
Now,
what?
I want to.
Sorry,
What?
Corb said something and I didn't catch what it
I
was.
said snoochie boochies.
There you go. Okay.
That was totally worth coming to a dead stop. So I got to ask you, Paul. I threw out a contest there as well, and it sounds like nobody's reached out to you about it through our social media. Of course not. But you said you were going to look for it. Now I got to ask: has anybody figured this out yet?
I have not.
Have you attempted to? Have you even thought about it?
I've scrolled back. I tried to see if I can find something, and you've got me puzzled. I'm not gonna lie.
All
I
right.
couldn't
Well,
figure it
since
out.
nobody is actually attempting to. That sucks. But anyway, since no one is attempting to do this, should I just reveal it now, or should it remain a mystery forever?
That's up to you. I would like you to reveal it because it's gonna bug me otherwise.
All right, here's my Post-it. Did get some water on it, so hopefully I can still read everything. What I did is like I said, the original rules were I had to either say the line or I had to say a parody of the line that made sense in context. I did not have to do repeated lines or verses, and I just had to get through the entire song. So like, second chorus I didn't have to do. So I think you're gonna pick this up right off the bat. Load up on Tums and bring depends. It's fun to lose her only friend. She's over Brian and self-insured. Oh no, I am a dirty word. Hello, hello, hello. How low do you go to have that many Spider-Man article? Remember that clickbait Spider-Man article?
Mm-hmm.
That was from that. With the lights out, I'm less dexterous. Here we are now, fucking scare us. I feel stupid and litigious. Here we are now, fucking scare us, of course. A gelato, some potatoes, a mojito, a fine Pinot. Yeah. Racists are worst at what they do best, and for this gift I feel blessed. Our little group has always been about the 3 F's and always will until the end of the fuck. I can't read it.
Of the fuck.
Yeah. Of something. Like I said, this got wet. If I forget just why I taste, oh yeah, I guess it makes me smile. I actually got to use the actual words. I found it hard. It's hard to find. Oh, well, whatever. Never mind. I can't believe you guys didn't pick that up. Those are the actual lines.
The moment you fucking said it that time, it got me.
And then, of course, the end of it was, I did a denial. Because, denial, the whole, what was it? Christians who say, come out against gays, but really are in the closet themselves. Yeah, that's what I snuck in over the course of a couple weeks.
I have no idea what that song is. I don't even know.
Are you serious?
Smells
Kevin?
Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana.
Is it really? Those are the words?
Yeah.
He, like you said, he adapted them, but it's definitely clear. Yeah.
Wow.
But what it was is I came up with that one line, load up on Tums and bring the pens. Mm-hmm. And that's what clicked it in my head. I was like, because that was such a great line. And then I'm like, oh, wait a second. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do this again, just because it didn't really engage with the audience, but it was fun for me.
I mean, and that's what it really comes down to, is keeping ourselves, entertained.
Yeah, for the most part.
So
that's why you can't see my hands.
Again,
that's a step too far.
That's a different show.
Hold on.
People pay to see that, Kev.
He's not wrong. They probably would.
They pay to see some strange shit. I'm just saying.
I'm signing us up for OnlyFans right now.
I did that gag months ago too.
Oh my God.
Where we referenced something about me having an OnlyFans, and I actually put in the show notes a link to OnlyFans, but I think it went right back to geekpod.com.
Thank God.
Right. All right. So, guys, what you watching?
Oh my God. Is anyone else still from last week just as irritated with Fear the Walking Dead as I am?
I still haven't started watching it yet.
I mean, for fuck's sake, Strand just needs to start twirling his fucking mustache, okay?
Really?
Just if you're gonna do this, just lean into it. Oh my God, yeah. How everybody on that show is not dead of radiation poisoning is fucking beyond me.
It's so difficult. I am behind because I try to start watching it and I just can't. And then
how does a show drop off in quality like that with the same showrunners?
Do you think there's any way to course correct on this? Or are they fucked?
Multiverse.
Something happened, and I think AMC intervened and told them they had to figure out a way to kill it.
You think so?
They're doing a great job.
That's all I can figure, because there's absolutely no way that anybody would do this as the next villain, because that's basically what we're looking at is, you're either up against a major villain or you're up against some sort of major event that's preventing our heroes from succeeding. Well, this is an event, but it's so far over the top. I mean, not that, Walking Dead isn't over the top. It's just that this is so far past anything that's even remotely believable. It's a struggle. I can't watch it.
Yeah, I agree. I've actually, I know you enjoyed Fear the Walking Dead up until this season, and it's difficult to actually tune in every Sunday.
Yeah.
And I don't really have a reason to, because there's something else to watch on Sundays.
What are you watching now then, Corbs? Instead?
I'm watching Yellowstone.
Oh, is that a Sunday night show? See, I haven't.
Yeah, it came back last Sunday. I watched that shit.
I heard it was like a 2-hour premiere.
It was a 2-hour premiere. I watched that shit. I yelled at my mom and my son for interrupting the TV show.
Well, I saw the first hour. I can't find it streaming anywhere, so I can't watch it.
Really? I mean, obviously, so you know that everybody survived.
Yeah, I saw the first hour. The second hour, I guess, is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah, second hour is pretty good. Yeah, I'm sure you probably, you don't have Paramount, the actual Paramount, do you? You have to.
Well, no. See, we subscribed to Paramount Plus because last year that's how we watched it.
Okay.
As they debuted, we watched it on Paramount Plus. Well, the contracts changed, and there is no streaming. The only way you can get it, you cannot watch it simultaneously. You have to have a TV service that includes the Paramount Network channel. There's no way to stream this on a separate service that you pay for on its own. So the only way you could get it is, Fubo, Sling, something like that has that channel included, and it's $35 to $65 a month wherever you look.
Right.
So, and we just don't subscribe to those things. So we're just going to wait, and I'll either steal it or wait until it goes up on Paramount Plus.
Right. That's the question I'm going to ask you. Will it come up on Paramount Plus after the season's over with or whatever?
I think it's in 30 days.
30 days. Okay.
I think.
Really?
That's what I read.
That actually answers my question, because they did I think it was in the first hour, they did a preview of the new one that's going to be on Paramount Plus. Is it 1866? Something like that, or whatever it was, with Tim McGraw and Faith Hill, and that looks pretty good too. But it's only streaming on Paramount Plus, which I don't have. So
wait. Are they doing a prequel to Yellowstone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's how they actually. It shows how they actually acquire the land that they have right now. So
the first hour they did a flashback to it too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the lead into the new series.
Kind of like a backdoor pilot to it.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
God, I got to get on board with this show too. Then,
really
everyone's raving about this.
Actually, I saw something where it had probably I think they said the highest number of viewers of any premiere in the last 10 years or something like that. It was outrageous. I mean, people were just going apeshit about the whole premiere.
I believe it.
So
I mean, I knew it was big news when I saw on Facebook that a bar in Camillus was having a fucking watch party for the premiere.
Wow.
Yeah.
I believe it.
So it's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic show. And Paul, you know how much I love the Suns. I told my son today, this is a close, and I'm talking about a close second place to that.
Really?
I don't miss an episode. Like I'll tape shows. I'll tape Magnum PI. I'll tape, SEAL Team. I'll tape SWAT. SEAL Team's now on Paramount Plus, but I'll tape SWAT. I tape Big Sky, which is another show that I started watching. This is the only show that I DVR and I watch it.
Nice.
I have to. I told my son, I said, for an hour from 9 to 10 o'clock on Sundays, don't come in my room. Nothing.
So that's not one of those you can't see my hands things. That's not why you can.
My hands are out in the open.
We were the same way. That's why we made sure we had Paramount Plus. And then I don't know how I lost track of it, but when we started looking for how to stream, because we were looking on Paramount Plus for Yellowstone, weren't seeing anything, nothing. And we got looking, and you have to have Paramount Network, and the only way you can view Paramount Network is if you have a TV service and you sign in with that account.
Oh, okay.
So you can stream it, but you have to have a TV service. So, the Time Warner, the Spectrum, the Verizon, Fubo TV, Sling TV, you've got to have a TV streaming service. And there must be somebody, obviously somebody paid a lot of money so that they could do that.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it was great. I like I said, I sat and watched it. And John obviously lived, which is the patriarch of the.
It's Kevin Costner, right?
Yeah, Kevin Costner. He's the main guy, but he got shot. I think he was 5 or 6 times, something like that. A couple he got hit in the arm and the shoulder and stuff like that. Nothing, no vital. He did hit in the chest. He was in a medically induced coma for a bunch of months. Beth got blown up and she survived. 3rd-degree burns on her back. I don't know if you saw that, Kev, when they showed it, that picture. Yep. Casey, which is his son, I think it's his oldest son. Actually, his only son. Got hit in the shoulder and stuff. So it was a wild ride, I gotta admit. I can't wait for the season to start. I can't wait to see who ordered the hit on the whole family. So that's the big reveal for the.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty sure it's the property consortium there, whatever they were. The guy that was always fishing, his people, right? I mean, we're pretty sure it's them, right?
But that's what I mean. Obviously, they want you to think. They want you to think that, and they want you to think Jamie, which is their adopted son.
Oh no!
They think they. Well, Beth thinks it's Jamie.
Yeah.
Casey and John think it's the militia, which was hired by Jamie's father.
Oh.
His real father. That's what they're thinking. But I think you're going down the right path. I think
Didn't go there.
Yeah, I think it has to do with that that conglomerate that's trying to buy the land and put the airport in and the casino and all that stuff. I don't know if it was in the first half or the second half. The guy that's always fishing. Did you see that ended up getting killed? Did you see how he got killed? That was pretty freaking wild.
You don't Rip don't fuck around. He ain't gonna talk to you. He ain't gonna talk to you.
Nope.
If you I like Rip.
Yeah, Rip. I love Cole. I love Cole Hauser as an actor. He's fantastic in a lot of stuff he does. So, but yeah, he is Paul. He's the Opie. He's like the enforcer. He's the Opie. He's the Chibs kind of character. He's the guy that you need something done.
It gets done. He's the guy you send in.
His fierce loyalty to
the Duttons.
To John Dutton.
To John Dutton, exactly.
Specifically.
Yep.
That's who he is. That's his character.
Yeah.
And John Dutton doesn't have to ask him to do anything.
Nope.
He knows what he has to do, and he does it.
And he does it. No questions asked. No questions asked. No looking back. No second thought about it. Evident of the fact that last season when they went after Tate to get Tate back, and he asked Rip to ride the horse to draw the fire away, and it was he was like, "Done. I'll do it."
Yep.
He just jumped on the horse and rode into the militia that guys were shooting at him, and he just jumped on the horse and did it because that's what John asked him to do.
Mm-hmm.
And he's loyal to John, but he's loyal to the Dutton family. Like, because Casey was the one that came and asked him. He's, I need you to do something, and he's like, done.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But if Casey and John ask him, like John asked him in the first season, because Rip was the foreman to the group, and Casey came back to live on the farm, and he wanted Casey to run the bunkhouse. That's what was Rip's job was. And John asked Rip to lose a fight to Casey so the guys respected him.
Okay.
Rip did it, no questions asked. And he walked over and says, "Was that good enough?" Because Rip and everybody knows Rip could have whipped his ass.
Yeah. Because Rip fights the way I mentioned earlier. If he's gonna get in a fight, he's gonna fucking win.
Right. And it was never a question. John needed Rip to lose, and Rip lost, but he made it look like Casey beat him.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
you're gonna find out if you do watch it, Paul, that basically John Dutton saved Rip's life.
Okay.
Yeah.
He would have died at a very young age, or he would have ended up, in a very, 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 very bad place.
Yep.
And so Rip knows who he owes his life to.
Gotcha.
The life that he has.
Yep. He owes it to John, and he'll die for John.
Yep.
And I'm sure that will come up at some point. Yeah.
He'll take a bullet for him.
There's a lot of people that have tried up to this point, and none of them have been successful.
Yep. So, but Rip is the one that would stand in front of a moving train to save John's life.
Yeah.
Not a school bus.
Not a school bus. No. And you would think it would be one of his kids. You think it would be Beth, who's John's biggest supporter. It's Rip is the one that, if John needs something done, he goes to Rip. If it has to be physical and violent, Rip's the one that he asks him to do it. And Rip just does what he has to do.
Yep.
So
nice.
Good show. It's a really good show.
Yeah, like I said, it's a close second to Sons. So
nice.
And you know what a fan I was of that show. I love that show, and this is that show. I have to watch it. the day it's on. I can't miss it.
This is your modern Sons of Anarchy.
Yes. So
That says something. And I keep talking about all these shows that I want to take on. My problem is that pro wrestling has taken over all my free time slots.
Same.
I was watching Dynamite before we came on.
Don't you dare ruin anything for me. I record it.
It was only one match.
Yeah. But I know the Danielson match was the one that started it off tonight.
Started the show, yeah.
So
that's the only one I watched. So
nice.
I love the fact they start with the big matches. That's so awesome.
Yes, that's completely different. That's what I like about it.
Something I've been watching and I want to recommend, maybe specifically to Kevin, because I'm curious to see what he thinks about it. I am almost at the end, and maybe this week or next week's the final episode. You're going to laugh at this, but Amazon's I Know What You Did Last Summer series.
Nice.
What I want to say is do not look at what the critics or Rotten Tomatoes say about it, because I mean, I read the comments and I'm like, this does not reflect the show I'm watching. It's not a reimagining of the original movie. Okay. The person, because the original movie, these kids hit a guy during a storm and leave him there. There is no guy. It's not a reimagining. It's a similar concept, but it's completely different. It's also got a twist that, I mean, you're going to find out in the first episode, but it shapes the entire series, and it's actually an amazing twist.
Nice.
And so far, it has been, I thought, it's one of my favorite shows this year. It's almost to the point of it's not even being done in a slasher movie style. I dare tread to say this, but in some points it's almost artsy. It's weird the way artsy and somewhat complex at the very least, the way everything interweaves, the way things are shot. It's not what I expected. I would have probably been okay with it just being an 8-episode slasher movie. It certainly aspires to be more than that, and I'm really shocked that collectively the universe is pretty much saying, hey, this show sucks. I think maybe they're projecting their hate of the original movie, which was basically a Scream knockoff. It's not like that. I've heard people say, oh, the acting is horrible. I think the acting's top notch. They're dealing with some really heavy, mature subject matter, and I think they're handling it deftly and well. So
neat. Yeah, we'll check it out.
You definitely should. I mean, I think you're going to be hooked from the first episode. I mean, they released the first 4 when it came out, which was good because you got to get a little deeper into it. But right from the first episode, that twist I talk about happens, and that's kind of like, you're like, holy crap. And
nice.
I don't want to ruin it. You got to watch it.
Okay.
And that's on Amazon Prime.
Correct.
Amazon Video. Sorry. Very cool.
I'll check it out.
All right, Kev, you had a couple of suggestions for us.
Yeah, I hit on this one. I'll start with this one. I hit on it last week. Sweet Girl with Jason Momoa. It's a Netflix, I don't know, Netflix original, whatever. Really, really good movie. It's not Jason Momoa that you would expect. Family man, gets caught up in some stuff that, he really didn't want to be in. His wife dies of cancer, and there's the big drug companies involved and some government people, and it gets kind of twisted, and he ends up in the middle of it. And it's a really good story, and it's got a hell of a twist to it.
Nice.
Kathy and I, when we got to that one point, we're like, oh my fucking God, we didn't see it coming. I mean, it's really cool. Remember me talking about Book of Eli? I don't know if you guys have seen Book of Eli. You know the twist in Book of Eli, right? Yep. So that revelation, that moment, that how you felt in that moment, that's what you'll get out of Sweet Girl.
Awesome.
Cool. Yeah. It's like, oh my God. And then of course you're gonna go back and go, oh, okay.
So you start going back
you
over
see all
stuff.
the seeds laid through it when you go back. Yeah.
I like
That's
I
awesome.
like that in a movie, and I like it when they do it well, because they really did it well, I think. Because when you go back, you're like, oh yeah, okay, I can see how I missed it, or how I just allowed myself to believe whatever they wanted to show me. So it was
Right.
it's really, really good.
Nice.
Very well done. Jason, like I said, Jason Momoa, like I haven't seen him before. Good actresses that he's opposite of, and actors. So yeah, good movie. And then I watched this other one, Occupation Rainfall, which I guess is the second movie in a series, also on Netflix. The first one was Occupation.
Okay.
Aliens come down and occupy the planet, and of course the human beings of Earth rebel and fight back. This second one here, which is actually the part one of a two-part, so it's actually, I guess there's another one coming. They find a weapon that they can use against the aliens somehow. They haven't gotten to that point, because by the time you get to that point, you're at the end of the movie, or end of that chapter. But what I found really interesting in this was that one of the main characters, Tamura Morrison. Now I know
What's
Paul,
that?
who knows. I know. Oh, you already said it. All right.
Sorry.
What?
Sorry.
Tamura Morrison is Boba Fett. He is the actor that played
Jango
Boba Fett's
Fett.
father,
Yes.
Jango Fett, and he is the one that they modeled all the clones after. All of the if you were a fan, of
the Attack of the Clones.
Yep.
Yep.
So he's not the original actor that played Boba Fett in the first three movies that came out. Episode 4, 5, and so on.
Jeremy Bullock was the original.
Jeremy Bullock, right? Tamura Morrison is the embodiment of who they ended up modeling the clones after. So talk about a man that never had to work again. But here he is. He had done movies after the prequels, and then he did. I'm pretty sure this is after, because he's a little older, and now we also know he's back in The Mandalorian.
And he's Aquaman's dad too.
Yes.
Was he really?
Yes.
Yes, he was.
I totally missed that.
Yep.
Well, son of a bitch. So he was with Jason Momoa and Aquaman.
Yes.
No kidding.
Yep.
All right, I got to go back and watch that. It was okay. I'm not going to suggest this as a movie. It's a must watch or anything. It was okay. Got some good sci-fi, some good humans versus aliens. The acting isn't all that great. The special effects aren't all that great. It is what it is.
Good sell.
Gotcha. So it's a classic Netflix movie, Netflix original.
Yeah, it's not even really as good as a Netflix movie, I don't think. It's just. I mean, if you're into that sort of genre, you might like to, waste 2.5 hours of your life watching it. But I thought it was neat. Tamura Morrison was in it.
Definitely. I'm noticing a lot of yawns here, and a lot of people are looking tired. I think it's a good time to drop some wisdom nuggets. Let's wrap this thing up. What do you think?
Dump a nugget.
All right. Knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is not putting it in a fruit salad. Good night, everybody, and megabyte me, bitches.
This has been a GeekPod Network production.
And that's the news, kids. Now I have to, and then I have to go and I have to go into the place where I hide stuff, and fuck me, this isn't working. Son of a bitch. I told you it wasn't going to work. What the fuck?
Oh, it's working for me.
God, seriously. Oh my God. Paul, I don't know what to do. Technology has failed me.
Throw it to me, or are you gonna
Did
keep
you reboot it?
trying?
Can you cut this part out? And
I mean, I can.
Now you have to.
well, I mean, the whole bit's ruined now. God damn it. I tested this like 50 times during every single break. Okay, here we go.